Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to field strip your Springfield Prodigy. Keep in mind this video is strictly for maintenance or repair only. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everybody to please subscribe and tell a friend about the channel. Every subscriber helps the channel grow. Now let's get on with the video. So the things you're going to need to do this is you're going to need the Allen key that came with your Prodigy. I'm borrowing this Prodigy to do this video, so I don't have the Allen key that came with it. So I'm going to be using the 5/32 tool that I have here. You're going to use your Allen key that came with your Prodigy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're safe, and how we do that is by pushing this mag release button. We're going to push this in. The magazine comes out, there's no ammo in the mag, and we're gonna set this magazine aside. We're still not safe. We have to check the inside of the chamber to make sure there's no ammo in there. And how we do that is if your Prodigy safety is on, like this one here, you're gonna push this paddle downward, just like that. Then you're gonna grip the Prodigy like this, turn it over. We're gonna push forward with this hand, while with this hand, we're gonna grab the slide from here or here, and we're gonna pull the slide this way. And it's gonna look something like this. You can see there's no ammo in the chamber, so we're now safe. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tool and we're gonna put that right into this area right here, just like this, and it's gonna look like that. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this like that counterclockwise, one rotation, just like that, and then we're gonna take this out and we're gonna set this aside. Next, we're gonna take this half circle right here and we're gonna put it right over here, this part of the slide lock. And how I do that is I take this part of the Prodigy and I put it into this part of my hand, just like this. And then I take these three fingers and I wrap it over in front of the optic and the slide over here, just like this. And I'm gonna pull the slide to the rear with these fingers. And it looks like this. And you could see when I get right there, that's where we wanna be. So then when you turn the Prodigy over, you're gonna push this pin right here in this circle, we're gonna push that downward, just like that. We're gonna try to push it as far as possible. Then we're gonna flip the Prodigy back over to this side and we're gonna try to pull this slide lock out just like that. We're gonna set this aside. And then we're gonna release the pressure with our fingers, just like that. Now, we're gonna take the slide the rest of the way off. We're gonna push on the rear of the slide until the slide comes completely off, just like that. And we're gonna set this part down. Then we're gonna take our slide and we're gonna flip it upside down like this. So looking at the guiding rod and recoil spring, you can see it's on a slight angle. What we need to do is we need to put our thumb right over that recoil spring and guiding rod. We have to push that down, okay? So we're gonna push this way, just like this. And you can see now it's straighter. So now what we do is we take the same tool that we used before, we're gonna put it into this area right here, just like that. And then we're gonna turn the tool counterclockwise until this part of the guiding rod unthreads to this side of the guiding rod. So we're just gonna continue to turn it. So now we can pull this part out, but before you do that, you wanna keep your thumb on this spring. And the reason why is because once we pull this out, the spring can fly out of the slide. So again, keep your thumb on this part and applying pressure to the spring. And then we take our two fingers, grab this part of the guiding rod, and we pull this out. You can see here that the spring kind of bulged downward. And you can see if I start letting some of the pressure go, that the spring just wants to go shooting out. That's why I said to keep your thumb on the spring. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to take our other hand and put it over the spring this way, just like that. And we're not gonna fully take our thumb off of this side of the recoil spring and guiding rod. We're just gonna slowly reposition our fingers and see how it wants to fly out. And we're just gonna grab this and pull it out that way. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this part of the guiding rod from the recoil spring, and if you turn this like that, it comes right out. I'm gonna set that aside. Put the recoil spring down. And then this sleeve here, as you can see, came out on my Prodigy. Yours may not have come out. So in case yours didn't, this sleeve right here is the sleeve that we have to remove. So if yours did not come out on this side, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your finger and you're gonna push that part in, and you can see it came out on this side. Grab it with your fingers, slide it out, and set this aside. Next, we're going to remove the barrel. And how we do that is taking this part right here, pushing that down, pushing up on the barrel block, and then pushing it out to the left. So up slightly, push on the rear of the barrel, slide this on out, just like this, and that's it. Put the slide down, the barrel down, and you have successfully disassembled your Prodigy. Now let's put everything back together. So we're gonna take our slide, take the barrel, this part right here, if this somehow found its way upward, you're gonna push this down again. So now that this part has been pushed down, we're gonna take this part of the barrel and we're gonna put it into this area of the slide. And it's gonna look something like this. Slide the barrel all the way in, and the barrel should drop into place right here. If your barrel did not slide into place, what's most likely happening is this part is leaning too much to one side, either this side or this side. And when you pull it back, it's not going to automatically drop. But if you put this part right here centered, just like that, and then push it back all the way, you can see it just drops into place. Now we have that done, we can take this part, slide this back up. Next, we're going to install the sleeve. And there's two parts of the sleeve, one with the collar and one with the smooth side. The smooth side gets inserted to this area right here of your slide. And it looks something like this. You push it as far back as possible. Next, we're going to install this part back into the recoil spring. There's two sides to the recoil spring. There's the open side and there's the closed side. This should go into the closed side. If you accidentally put it into the open side, you'll know you did it wrong just by putting it in there and turning it upside down and it flies on out. When you put it in the correct side, which is the closed side, you push this in and you can turn this upside down, it won't come out. So just make sure that's on the correct side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to insert this part of the recoil spring into this area of the sleeve, what we just installed, making sure that this part of the guiding rod is facing your barrel. The other thing we're going to do is make sure that this part is up, and it's going to look something like this. You take this part of the spring, put it into this area just like that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to compress the spring in. Once we get this part of the guiding rod right here, we're going to hold our thumb onto that compressed spring again, so this way the spring doesn't come flying out, and then we're going to insert this part in here. So let me show you how it looks when you're compressing it. When I compress the spring, I take my other two fingers and I kind of just brace the spring here so it doesn't bulge out and try to shoot out another way. So again, pushing and compressing the spring inward just like this. And I have this part of the guiding rod where we need it right here. I'm going to switch my thumb for these three fingers just like this. All right, just going to swap it out. Okay, so now that we're holding the recoil spring and the guiding rod with our thumb, we're going to take this part of the guiding rod and we're going to insert it into this area right here. So there's two sides to this guiding rod. There's the one with the threads, as you can see there, and then there's the side with the Allen key portion. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the side with the threads and we're going to insert it into this area right here, just like this. And you're going to start seeing this guiding rod coming through the spring on this side as we push it through, just like this. And you're going to have to just release a little bit of the pressure with your thumb on the spring, so this way you can line up the threads here with this side of the guiding rod. Now that we have this side of the guiding rod inserted into this side of the guiding rod, we now take our tool, put it into this area like we did earlier, and then we're going to start turning it clockwise. Okay, and then once I do that and I feel it stops, I just take this out, set this down. Now you can see the guiding rod and the recoil spring are back in place. So now what we could do is we could install the slide back onto our frame. So how we install the slide back onto the frame is we take this opened area right here and this open area right here, and we're going to insert that into this rail and that rail. And it's going to look something like this, just like that. As I'm trying to slide the slide all the way to the rear, I feel resistance, So if you feel resistance, most likely it's your spring, and all you have to do is take your thumb, press up on the spring, and you notice how the gap between the slide and the frame gets closed, and then you can start sliding the slide to the rear, just like that. Now what we need to do is we need to get this half circle right into the middle of this open square, just like we did in the beginning of the video. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put this part of the grip into this area of your hand, wrap your 3 fingers over the top, pull the slide to the rear until that half circle is in the middle of the square opening. Next, we have to install the slide lock. And how we do that is by taking this piece right here and putting it into this hole. And if you look in that hole, you can see that there's something in the way. So we couldn't just slide this on in. So what we have to do is we have to take the barrel from here. We have to slide this over until you get more of a perfect circle, just like that. Then we take our slide lock and we put this part into this hole right here, just like this, right? And what we do is we have this part resting on this area, just like this. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna keep that half circle in the middle of the square, and then we're gonna push the slide lock inward, okay? And it's gonna look something like this. And it goes back into place. You can release the pressure on your 3 fingers, just like that. And then take your Allen key, put it back into this part right here, and you're gonna turn it clockwise, but you're not gonna torque it. What you're gonna do is just turn it ever so slightly like that to make sure it's nice and snug, and that's it. Now what I like to do is I like to perform a function test. Because this is a 1911/2011, you should take a snap cap, put it into the magazine, and when you insert it into the magazine, the rear of the snap cap goes towards the rear of the magazine, which is the flat side, just like that. Then you're gonna take the flat side of your magazine, have that facing the rear of the Prodigy. You're gonna insert it right into here, and you're gonna push the magazine all the way up until you hear a click, just like that. Next, we're gonna turn the Prodigy over. We're gonna push forward with this hand, and then with this hand, you're gonna grab the slide from here or here, pulling it towards you this way, and it's gonna look something like this. Now that the dummy round is in the chamber, now we can perform the function test. And what I like to do is I like to put the safety on, point the Prodigy in a safe direction, pull the trigger. Nothing. That's good. Next, what I like to do is I like to take the safety off and do not engage the rear grip safety. Point the Prodigy in a safe direction, pull the trigger. Still nothing. That's good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage the grip safety. Now point the Prodigy in a safe direction and pull the trigger. And you see the hammer went forward. So everything seems to be performing perfectly. Congratulations, you have successfully field stripped your Springfield Prodigy. If you thought the video was helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't already, please subscribe and tell a friend about the channel. Every subscriber helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.